Welcome back to part 2 of the GMetrix Photoshop exam practice 2. We're starting with question 15 that says, without changing the ruler settings, create a vertical guide and a horizontal guide. Notice that this is in pixels. Notice that the ruler settings, if I right click on my ruler, it says it's in inches, so we're not changing that. It says without changing. So how would we add the guide? We're going to go to View, and if we go down to View, we'll see at the bottom where it says Guides. We've got several things we can do with guides, but we're looking for the new guide. So by default, it's going to go to vertical first, which the vertical is 550 pixels. So watch this carefully. You're going to put 550, but remember it was inches. It needs to be pixels now. So PX for pixels. Click OK. But we also have to do a horizontal guide. So we're going to go back to View and do Guides again. Another new guide. And this time we have to change it to horizontal. And again, we got to make sure we're getting rid of the inches and put pixels and click OK. So now we've got both of our guides. Click Next. Number 16, add a drop shadow effect to the text Natural Beauty. Set the angle to 45 degrees, the distance to 6 pixels, accept all other defaults. So we're looking for our Natural Beauty text. Let's open our layers. As a matter of fact, let's just float our layer here so we can see what we're doing. And unfortunately, I can't make my GMetrix any smaller, but let's see. We're looking for Natural Beauty. So let's look through our text. And if we click one time, we will be selecting Natural Beauty up here. And I've got this little quick edit bar. It says that we're doing a drop shadow effect. So actually our effects are going to be in the layer window at the bottom. Now I want to show you something. Be careful, because if you double click, notice that the effects is grayed out. You don't want to double click, you just click one time, because if you double click, it selects it to edit the name. See how it turns it blue? So be careful, if it's grayed out, that's why. So we're going to hit the FX. Remember FX, like effect. And at the very bottom, there's all kinds of things in here you might be asked to do, but typically the question's going to ask for a drop shadow. And then we just have to do what it said. It says angle 45. Here's my angle, 4, 5, and hit enter. Whoops, I didn't finish. I'll go back and do the second part. The second part is the distance, 6 pixels. Okay, in this case, it remembers that I had 6 pixels from earlier, so I'm going to click OK. So it would have been all right, and then click Next. But that's a two-step process. Number 17, using the adjustment panel. We know the adjustment panel is right here. We're going to create a non-destructive hue adjustment for the background set to 95. So I'm clicking Adjustments. Here's my hue. And then we type the number 95. Make sure to hit Enter to confirm that choice. And you can see that we've added the hue and saturation, and it's changed it green. We can click OK. Next. Number 18, fully lock the logo layer so it cannot be moved or edited. Remember, locking will make sure that no changes can be made. Make sure you're on the right layer, the logo layer. Here's the lock. "19. Update the metadata." Remember that word metadata of the file so that it displays author as Craig Stronin. We're going to find our metadata under File, File Info. It's the information attached to the file, and this is where we can find all about the metadata, is all this information, that the information attached. So the document, and here it says author Craig And then be careful you don't put author title. It's author. And then you might be asked to put some other things here. You also have your copyright status. You might be asked to do that later. Click OK. Color pick the light blue color from the tree icon, which is down here, and apply it to the wildlife text. There's lots of ways we can do this. I'm going to go ahead and double click on the hand to make this a little bigger so we can see what we're doing. Move this out of the way. So remember, our color picker is the eyedropper tool. The eyedropper tool will sample a color. So I can use that to make sure that my swatch is blue. Now I'm going to put that color on the wildlife text. So I've got to make sure wildlife is selected. Right now it's black, and you can see up here that it's a dark color. But if I want to select that blue, let's see, double click on, whoops, I double clicked it because it's black, and then I'm coming over here and sampling that blue. See how it changed the blue, same as the tree. Click OK, and now wildlife is also blue. Click Next. Change the opacity of the adventure logo layer. This is our adventure logo layer. Make sure you got the right one. You remember opacity is right up here. We're going to change it to 30. I guess it's easier to just type 30. Hit enter, and then change the blending mode to multiply. Right next to opacity, looking for multiply. There we go. Oops, something happened. Oh yeah, I just clicked off of it. Okay, next. Okay, load the selection named bird to create a non-destructive layer mask that reveals the bird selection so the background grass layer shows through. So you can see we have the bird, but we can't see the grass layer. So we're going to select the kingfisher layer, and we're going to select in the menu, and we're going to click on load selection. Where is it at? Here at the bottom. Load selection. Now we need to change the channel to show not the transparency, but the bird is the name of the selection. So when I click OK, see how now there's the marching ants around the bird where the selection's been saved? So remember that the layer mask is down here in our layers. I'm adding the mask, and that automatically punched through so that we can see the grass layer below. Create a new document, and let's see, we're going to do a transparency background and name it Project 1. So again, new would be File, New, Control N is the new, and make sure you go to the templates across the top and find the one that says Video. Now we've got the HDV 1080p, and then to find the transparency is under background down here. We're going to change that to transparent. Gives us a new title, Project 1. Click OK, or I mean create. It's okay, just click OK. And we can see that it's transparent because it's got those checks. Hide all the layers except the grass layer. That just means turning off the eyeballs. Easy. Next. We're going to flip the mountain image horizontally. This one is a little tricky because we see the word image. We think we want to go to image, but the problem is if we go to image rotation, it says canvas. That's not correct. It's not going to give us a correct answer. Watch what happens if I hit next. See how it's wrong, incorrect? So I'm going to try it again. So watch out. This is one that's easy to get wrong. So I want to make sure that you see that we're going to go to, instead of going to image, we actually are going to go to edit, transform, and this is where we're going to find flip horizontal, and it's going to flip just the image on the mountain, not all of the canvas, just the mountain layer. Next. Be careful on that one. Export the logo layer. Okay, so normally we talk about exporting and we go File, Export, but not this time. That is not going to work. What they want is just the layer here, the logo layer only, not the whole document. So when we click on the logo layer, if I right click, I get this list, and this is where we're going to go export as PNG. So the document goes to the GMetrix template Photoshop folder. You won't have access to this, but just practice, because the trick is you got to remember to change the name of it as well, or you would get it wrong. Apple logo, and save. And that would send just the logo. So all it would be sending is this little logo, not the whole picture. Create a new layer group named icon and move both the icon layers into the group. And that would be the tent icon layer and the tree icon layer. Now, you can do this multiple ways. You could make the group first, or, oops, don't want to move that. Or I can actually select, shift click, both the tent icon and the tree icon, and then right click, and I can do this at the same time, new group from layers. And it doesn't give me a new name, so, oh yes it does, named icons. So I have to type icons. See, I got to watch every little word there so we don't miss something. So now you can see that if I close this, oops, it didn't go. So, oh yeah, it did. See, if I close it, you don't see it. If I open it, there's my tent and tree icon. So that's how you can double check that they're in there. Or you could have done it the old-fashioned way, make it first and then drag them and drop them. Always more than one way to do things. Usually anyway. Use the lasso tool. This is one area where actually they want a specific way to do things. You're going to use the lasso tool to get rid of the guy standing on the mountain. So I want to just move this out of the way so you can see him. So here's our lasso tool, third one down. We're going to circle around the guy on the mountain. And in this case, be really careful. Remember, it's edit, fill, not content aware here. That would be wrong. We got to go to fill. And then make sure it's content aware here, not any of these other things. So content aware. Click OK. And that removed the person from the background. Thank you, AI. Next. Almost done. Edit the text so the word renovation is on the next line, and then change the font and the alignment and the size. So this one gets people tripped up again. I'm going to use my move tool. I want to make sure that I've double click on the T here so that it selects the text. If you click right after the N, now I hit enter, and so see how now it's on a new second line. Okay, so now we're going to just change the font face here, type it right in there, Times Roman, New Roman, regular. You could also do this by going to going window, to the character, if you like using the character window, remember that. So if you do it that way, you can change the size to 48, just making sure you see all these different choices. And then it wants this to be center aligned, and that would be under the paragraph tab or here in my quick edit, either way. Whoops, I need to select it to affect it. I got to go back and do this again. So changing the size to 48 and making sure the whole thing is centered. So remember, select it to affect it so that all of the letters move. There we go. Going to hit my check mark to confirm my changes at the top. Whoops. Oh, okay. Let's see. What did I do wrong? Let's try this again. Okay, let's try this again. I think I might have confused it by doing too many different things. So I'm going to double click it so that select it to affect it. I'm going to go ahead and change the Times New Roman. I'm going to change the size to 48. I'm going to click after the N and hit enter so it's on the next line. Continue to make sure it's all selected, center align, check at the top, click next. There we go. Last one, change the document color mode to CMYK so it can be printed. Do not merge the layers. So that's going to be under image mode. That's where we go to find our colors. Color mode, CMYK. And this is where it's going to ask us about merging the layers. We don't want to merge the layers, leave them separate. Okay, next. And you're all done.